What's up, everybody? It's Mama Kylie, and I wanted to hop on camera real quick to talk to you about some revelations I had about effective communication, and it's helped me a lot, and hopefully, and maybe it'll help someone watching this video. So, when we're communicating, there's what's being inputted, and then there's the output to communication. All forms, verbal, energetic, body language, all forms of communication. There's the input in what we understand, and then there's the output, what we verbally or whatever we put out. When it comes to listening, like active listening and learning and understanding either someone else or what we're reading, I believe there's 4 main factors that'll stop us from actively listening or being able to effectively understand someone. And that is impatience, that's judgment, that's over-identification, and unflexible personal views. Personally, for me, over-identification is a big one, or it used to be a big one. I over-identified with how much I knew about myself. I over-identify with the fact that I know me more than anyone else knows me, which is true to a certain degree. And there's a saying, if someone else claims to know more about you than you, then stay away from them, or some shit like that. And that's true to a certain degree, but nah. Like, the face can't see itself. If someone is presenting an aspect of you to you, I think you should listen. It may not be 100% true, it may be only 1% true, but they didn't, even if they did shit it out, this opinion, like, something was fed to them in order for them to shit this out. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, it didn't just come out of thin air. It didn't just spontaneous combust, So, for me, over-identification would block me from actively listening and understanding someone else. So, I think, impatience. Sometimes we get excited about getting to know someone, getting to know things about ourselves, getting to understand something, whatever it is we're learning, and we rush the process. We get excited, and that's being impatient. That's instant gratification, and that'll fuck up. We'll miss a lot when we're too excited and we rush through whatever it is we're reading, whatever it is we're listening to, whoever it is we're interacting with. And judgment, I think judgment comes in a little bit later when we talk about like interference with actively outputting in communication. But unflexible personal views, like not being willing to just shut the fuck up and listen and be like, you know what, I don't know. Personally, for me, when I like let go of my need to know everything about myself, about the world around me, about what I'm doing, just the need to know, when I let that go, I started to I opened up a new channel of understanding, and I was able to satisfy that urge to know, but in a non-toxic way. So when it comes to output communication, there's like a ladder of shit that happens when we're communicating. We have our intention, our intention. Then we have what we say. We have what the other person heard. And then we have what the other person thinks we meant. And I think that's where judgment starts to come in. The first thing I think we have to be aware of is making sure that what we say lines up the best with our intentions, like the best we can. We need to line that up with our intentions. And when what we say doesn't, when the other person doesn't hear us correctly, this is where clarification needs to come into play. And a lot of times when we say things like, if we try to seek clarification in a communicative environment, we can say things like, do you understand? I personally like to say, am I explaining that well? Because when we say, do you understand, sometimes that'll put the pressure on someone, and sometimes people don't want to feel stupid, for not understanding something that you may have beautifully articulated, that'll open the floor to clarification, so that what I say and what you hear are in sync, they're right. So that way, when it goes to the fourth step of what you think I meant, it's judged correctly, because judgment's going to happen regardless. We shouldn't judge whatever, but it's going to happen. So we want it to be as accurate. We want what the other person thinks we meant to be in line with our intentions. And I think clarification, just one, slowing down, like, don't be so impatient, don't just rush to get it all out, which sometimes I can do. If I feel like I'm being misunderstood, I can start to like word vomit. And other times I'll just completely shut down. But, getting rid of both of that you can get rid of both of those by just opening the floor for clarification with everything, Am I explaining that well? And then they can say, hey, you know what? No, actually, I don't understand that. You didn't explain that well. And then from there, whatever the fuck happens to where communication is effective and it's not stagnant. It's not creating bullshit, more shit, So just to kind of reiterate an overview, like I just wanted to hop on camera real quick. I don't really have like structured shit going on right now. But when we are listening, when we are trying to understand, it's important for us to be patient. It's important for us to not judge. It's important for us to be flexible with our personal views. And it's important for us to not over-identify with anything. Find stability and change. And that's input. And when we're outputting, be clear with your intentions. Like, have your intentions clear in your head. Make sure that what you're saying is in line with your intentions. And then for you, open the floor for clarification. Am I explaining that well? Do you get what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? So that way, what they hear and what they ultimately, when they form their judgment, it's accurate, it's effective. And yeah, that's one less thing you gotta worry about. So these are just some things that I realized and have been helping me with communication issues, both because, communication's a two-way street. You have to, if you don't understand well, you're not going to be able to communicate well. You're not going to be able to put out well. If you put shit in your food, you're going to shit out terrible shit. Yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. Your opinions, what you think, what helps you. And yeah, thanks for watching.